Welcome to Haberd Adventure. This property was the home of Thomas Stone, one of 4 Maryland signers of the Declaration of Independence. As a member of the Continental Congress, Stone also helped draft the Articles of Confederation that would ultimately lead to the creation of the United States Constitution. Stone acquired this property in 1770. Shortly thereafter, he began building a house here, which would become the Stone family home for 6 generations. This is Haberd Adventure, the home of Thomas Stone of Maryland. I understand it was built about 1770. Nice house on a nice piece of property out here in rural Maryland. It's very quiet and peaceful here. This describes the Stones of Maryland. For almost 4 centuries, the family has contributed talents and skills to the colony, the state, and the nation in various capacities. From a signer of the Declaration of Independence to 2 governors of Maryland to congressmen, judges, and statesmen, the Stones often found themselves caught up in momentous events that have shaped our colony. Here's the first one, William Stone, 1603 to 1660, the first Protestant governor of Maryland under Lord Baltimore. John Hoskins Stone helped George Washington raise money to build the new capital city. Technically not a Stone, but this fellow was a maternal uncle. Thomas Stone, the owner of this home, served in the Continental Congress, signed the Declaration of Independence, and was one of the authors of the Articles of Confederation. Haberd Adventure. It stayed in the Stone family until 1936. Michael Jennifer Stone, 1747-1812, another one of Thomas Stone's brothers. And Frederick Stone, 1820 to 1899, was an attorney who took on the case of the century defending Dr. Samuel Mudd, who was accused as an accomplice of John Wilkes Booth in the assassination of President Lincoln. Here's the other side of Haberd Adventure. Looks more or less the same as the front side. A little family cemetery. Here's Thomas Stone's marker, 1743 to 1787. Not far from Haberd Adventure. I like saying that word, Haberd Adventure. This is historic Port Tobacco, well, the historic district. In this center of Confederate activity at the Bronner Hotel, Detective Captain William Williams unsuccessfully offered Thomas Jones $100,000 reward for information that would lead to the capture of John Wilkes Booth. Here's a little cemetery. And here's one of those old AAA local interest signs, Old Christchurch, 1692. I believe these were erected in the 1930s. I've seen them in downtown Alexandria. This very old plaque, which needs some repair, points out that Port Tobacco is also on the Washington-Rochambeau Revolutionary Route National Historic Trail. That evening they set out with 4 servants and 10 horses. Traveling without a guide, they lost their way and spent the night at a remote farm. The next day they rode through Queen Anne to Upper Marlboro, from where they continued to Port Tobacco on the 14th of September 1781. Port Tobacco is described as situated at the foot of a hill where there is a stream bordered by about 20 houses. In the evening we had time to climb up to the church, which is situated on a dominating height from which we had a delightful view. The church was St. Ignatius, described by Cromo de Bourg as very handsome. Port Tobacco, the home and place of business of George Atzerodt. He was the fellow who was assigned to murder Vice President Andrew Johnson, as you can see. Over here, Port Tobacco Commerce. This is apparently part of the Marketplace complex. A historic home. A marina with a nice view. I think I'm going to plan a hog's ride to come here. St. Ignatius Catholic Church, Chapel Point, Maryland, dating from 1662, the oldest continuously active parish in the United States, founded 1641 by Father Andrew White, who named Chapel Point. The present church was built in 1798. St. Thomas Manor has been a Jesuit residence since its erection in 1741. Let's take a look around. Pretty church. Lots of nice stained glass. Boxwood. The smell of history to me. It's a smell I always encounter in historic homes in Maryland and Virginia. Old places. Well, this is quite the view. Look at that. Mudd. Probably the same family. Dr. Mudd that treated John Wilkes Booth, I'm guessing. A very fine vista on a nice day. What a pretty church. I'd like to hear that bell rung. Here's an interesting plaque that describes what we're looking at. The first hilltop residence built about 1690, second floor added after fire. The Jesuit residence and manor house built in 1741, serving as the administrative center of the farm. The brick chapel connecting the manor house and the chapel built in 1697. And finally, St. Ignatius Church built in 1798. The steeple was added in 1880. This is Surrattsville, with the Surratt Tavern on the left. And there's a little house where I think that's the museum. And this was a stop on the John Wilkes Booth escape. Let's go take a look at the Surratt Tavern. I did a Civil War event here 35 years ago. That's when I was last here. The Mary Surratt House. There's a photograph of me sitting on this railing. Easy for me to find. On my 30th birthday. The Mary Surratt House. Built in 1852 for the family of John and Mary Surratt. Restored in 1975 in recognition of the building's national historical significance relating to the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln. Did we spend a night in this field? I think I did. I don't know. Anyway, this was the event where I met one of my great friends, Don Tracy. Right here in this field, there should be a plaque.
Ride free, brother. Ride free.